Stuart Matola, men's relationship coach here. I hope you're having a great day. Today I'm going to talk to you about something that guys come to me often and they're saying things about their partner or their relationship or marriage. It's like, we never have sex, or I feel like we've flatlined sexually, and it leaves them with this feeling of feeling trapped, like they're in a sexless marriage. So before I dive into it, I want to tell you, I'm going to give you a tool here that's going to help you if you're in that situation to go from feeling like you're at the mercy of that sexless marriage or relationship to actually going to a place where, oh yeah, I can make a change about that. I can actually do something about that. And so in this territory of feeling trapped in a sexless relationship is come these other questions, and they're things like, guys are asking themselves like, how can I go on like this? Will it be like this forever? What's the point of being in a relationship or marriage if my partner's not sexually open to me? And so I want to be clear, these are really good questions to ask, but the challenge with them is they leave a guy feeling powerless. And so there's two things here. There's the reality of the sexless marriage, and there's the layer of self-judgment that a guy puts on himself and is feeling. And so if he can separate that self-judgment from the actual circumstance of the relationship, he's actually then freed up to do something about it. And the judgment that I see time and time again that guys are experiencing is they're feeling ashamed of feeling powerless to do something about it. So then suddenly the guy's like, oh, wait a minute, the trap is not the sexless marriage. I've been focusing on that. The trap is actually me feeling powerless to do something about it. And so maybe he's scratching his head and he's thinking, well, where do I go from here? And so suddenly, and this happened with a guy I was working recently, and we got him to a place where he actually started taking action and going after what he wanted. And that started with a pivot on himself, not feeling like it was so much about her and she has to give me sex and she has to be the one to show up, but actually looking at himself and asking himself, instead of, will this go on forever? He started asking himself, how can I get out of this trap? Okay, and that was a question that I had posed to him. And then from there, we went into, what do I actually want in this relationship? And that was a super powerful place for him to step into, because when he was feeling just down and out, trapped in the sexless marriage, he couldn't even get to that space of asking what he wanted. So if you're watching this and this resonates, I want you to pause for a moment and actually take a minute, grab pen and paper and write down, answer the question, what do I want out of this relationship? And the next step is to actually go communicate that to your partner. And I'm going to tell you right now how to do that. First thing you do before you have a conversation with your partner is you ask permission to have that conversation. You just don't blurt it out over the kitchen table or while you're cooking dinner. You say, hey, there's been things on my mind. I want to have a conversation about some things I've been thinking about about us. And keep that line, because she may very well be like, well, what's going on? What do you need to tell me? But keep that line. Say, hey, it's going to be served better if we talk about it when we set aside the space. And super important that you actually do that and not try to please her in the moment and tell her what's going on. So I'm a huge fan that when you actually do set the time to have this conversation, that you actually set a timer and you take 3 minutes or 5 minutes or whatever you decide you need. And you actually say, during that time, hey, things have been challenging in our relationship. I know we haven't been connecting. And you start speaking your wants. I've thought about it, and I want more sex in our relationship. I want playfulness. I want to have more fun. I want to feel more connected with you. I want to feel, and whatever your list is there. But I want to be clear that this is your time to talk. And this is why I love setting the timer, because it creates the container knowing that there's no crosstalk. She can't argue with you. And afterwards, take a pause for 10, 15 seconds. Then she reflects back. And her reflecting back is only not to argue with you, but to reflect back what she heard so that you know you've been heard. And then you do the same for her, and she gets to communicate her wants. Now, I want to be clear, when she's communicating her wants, don't go into a space of, oh, it's my fault. I did this, I did that, I did that. This is her stuff. This is what she wants. Have empathy for the gap of what she's wanting that's not happening, that you would have for yourself or that you're seeking for yourself. And I want to say what's so powerful about this quick process is when you connect on the wants, suddenly it's like you're both out in the open, you're transparent, you're connecting. Because what so happens so often with people and with couples is they hide out, they disconnect because that's the only place to be safe. So when we take a moment to actually communicate our wants and needs, we're suddenly not feeling trapped. It's out in the open. We've expressed ourselves. And that alone does wonders. And I want to be clear, this is something you should set aside time for at least once a week. Maybe Wednesday at 8 p.m. is your time to do this and check in about your wants and needs. And it's not so much at this step about you meeting those or fulfilling those, but the chances of that actually happening when they're spoken and transparent is 1,000 times than if you're hiding out in that space of feeling victimized by a sexless marriage. So this is a great tool for you to put into action immediately. And I want to be clear, you can't do this alone. And I want to encourage you to put this into action and then come to our Tuesday 9 a.m. Mountain Time men's relationship tool call, which is a place where we can talk about your situation and customize it to what you're exactly dealing with. And there's a link to that group in the description below. You can just click on that and check it out. I hope this was helpful for you. If you enjoyed this, please subscribe to this YouTube channel to the lower right and have an amazing day. Bye.